Hi, my name is Mark McPherson, and I'm a planning chair for an ALIABA course that we're planning to have on May 10. And the title of the course is EPA Enforcement Collides with APA Due Process, from Sackett to Range Resources. Let me give you a brief introduction into what we'll be talking about. We're going to have with us on that faculty Damien Schiff. Damien is the principal attorney of the National Litigation Center for the Pacific Legal Foundation out in Sacramento, California. Damien represented the Sacketts through the district court, Ninth Circuit, and then ultimately at the United States Supreme Court. The case involved a wetlands issue under the Clean Water Act. The Sacketts basically bought a piece of property in a residential development in Idaho, began to prepare the site for construction of their house, when one day, lo and behold, the EPA and the United States Army Corps of Engineers show up and cite them for violating the Clean Water Act. And in the process, the EPA then orders the Sacketts to restore the property to its previously, of course, pristine condition, without giving the Sacketts an opportunity to challenge the order. The Sacketts tried to challenge the order with the EPA. The EPA denied the request, so the Sacketts sued them and lost in the district court, lost at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, the issue is, under the Administrative Procedures Act, do the Sacketts have the ability, the legal right to challenge this EPA enforcement order as soon as the order is issued? And if not, is that a violation of due process, constitutional due process rights? So those were the issues at the Supreme Court. Well, on March 21st of this year, 2011, the U.S. Supreme Court issued their opinion in that case, and it was a unanimous opinion in favor of the Sacketts. And so we now know that our clients have due process rights to challenge an agency order of that sort as soon as it's entered. Now, that was a Clean Water Act case. Now, come down here to Texas. Let's talk about some of the fallout of what's going on, what happened with the Sackett decision. Back in 2010, Range Resources was involved in some fracking operations, as many operators are doing here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in the Barnett Shale, when one of the area landowners claims that their water well was contaminated because of the hydraulic fracturing operations. Well, they file a complaint with our State Railroad Commission, which is the state agency that regulates the oil and gas industry, and the Railroad Commission begins its investigation process. Apparently not liking the way that was going, the EPA then stepped in and basically co-opted the investigation away and issued an administrative enforcement order against Range Resources. That order came out in December of 2010. EPA then sued Range in a federal district court here in Dallas to enforce that order, and Range basically made the same sort of arguments that the Sacketts did, that there was due process rights to challenge that order as soon as it was issued. So that issue then was on appeal at the Fifth Circuit when the Sackett court opinion was released in March of this year. So then in April of this year, the EPA dismissed the Range case, and in April 29, as kind of a continuing fallout of the situation, Al Armendariz, the administrator of EPA Region 6 here in Dallas, based here in Dallas, resigned. And all these things are kind of tied together, and so we're going to explore that in our seminar next week. Aside from talking about the justices of the Supreme Court, and particularly Justice Scalia and Justice Alito and perhaps Justice Ginsburg, it's quite rare that we get a 9-0 opinion these days, but this was a 9-0 opinion. Well, we're also going to talk about peanut M&Ms, exploding houses, water that lights up on fire, and isotopic fingerprinting. So if any of that, as well as the APA, due process, and how you protect your clients in enforcement cases, if any of those are important to you, we really invite you to come and watch our seminar and see what we have to talk to you about there. It's going to be on Thursday, May 10th from 1:30 to 2:30 Eastern Time. That's 12:30 Central Time. Again, the title is EPA Enforcement Collides with APA Due Process. From Sackett to Range Resources, I'm Mark McPherson, and I hope that you're on the line. One last thing, kind of a PS. I have a Twitter account. You can send your questions to me even before the course. If you have questions, you can tweet them to me directly. My Twitter address is @EnviroPinions, ENviroPinions. And you can also email it to us during the program, and we'll have that information for you after you sign up. So again, we look forward to seeing you this coming Thursday, May 10th.